Good evening. I'm Kelly Dunn, and I'm honored to be your mistress of ceremonies for tonight's gala. I am here in person, but I wanted to take a moment and introduce myself and share my professional connection and my family's connection to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. I've been an anchor here at WPTV, the NBC station in West Palm Beach, for 33 years. And during many of those years, I produced a weekly feature called Kelly's Heroes, highlighting some of the extraordinary members of the community.
In the summer of 1988, I interviewed Mary Weiss, one of the most passionate advocates in the fight against cystic fibrosis.
I kept going to doctor, to doctor, to doctor. I knew there was something wrong. And the only thing I was ever told is that I was over-apprehensive, I was too anxious to this, to that, to everything else. And after 4 years, it turned out that I was right.
Mary's greatest fears came true in 1965 when doctors told her her son Richard had cystic fibrosis.
Arthur was born.
The news would get even worse when the Weiss's oldest son, Arthur, got the same devastating diagnosis. Mary was pregnant with Anthony at the time. He, too, would end up having cystic fibrosis.
It's beyond description, beyond comprehension. It was just, but then once I knew what it was, the next question is, what do we do about it?
Mary embarked on what would become a 50-year mission to find a cure. She founded the Palm Beach County chapter of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation.
It was in my house for 11 years. I mean, literally in my house. I had a separate line.
Mary spoke to every civic club, social and service organization, politician, and movie star. She spoke to anyone and everyone about cystic fibrosis.
I was on the phone morning, noon, and night, and Richard, where was called the mouth, comes toddling in. He was a little boy. He didn't know he had cystic fibrosis, Yeah. He says, "Mommy, I know what you're working for." And for once in my life, I didn't make a speech. I said, "Sweetheart, what am I working for?" He said, "You're working for 65 Roses." And I took him in my arms. He was very frail, tiny little thing. I took him in my arms, and he didn't see the tears. I said, "Yes, sweetheart, I'm working for 65 Roses."
It's thanks to 4-year-old Richard Weiss that children today use the term 65 roses to describe their disease, and it's become the universal symbol for the CF Foundation. A few months after my original story on Mary Weiss aired in 1988, my family got some shocking news. My brother Wes and sister-in-law Roseanne's 3-month-old son, Matthew, was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis. Matthew was the first grandchild in our family, the first nephew. Most in my family had never heard of this disease. One of my first calls after learning the news was to Mary Weiss, and I asked her the same questions I had asked before, but this time with a whole new purpose.
I'm Kelly Dunn, and this is my nephew Matthew. A year ago, Matthew was born with cystic fibrosis, the #1 genetic killer of children and young adults.
I joined Mary and got involved with the local CF chapter and used my television profile to help raise awareness, doing public service announcements with Matthew and helping to promote local CF events.
Half of the people with...
What you couldn't see was Matt's dad right off camera, ready to help when there was a blooper.
I'm Kelly Dunn, and every Monday night on...
And we did have a few.
This is my nephew Matthew. He's my family's hero because he has cystic fibrosis. Oh, gosh.
The promo shoots got a little bit easier and more fun for Matthew as he got a bit older. He was 4 years old here, and even though the sun was shining in his eyes...
I'll tell you when to open your eyes, okay? I'll tell you when. You're a great sport. Hi, I'm Kelly Dunn, and this is my nephew Matthew Dunn.
He had even earned his first on-camera speaking role and handled it like a champ.
Take the time to care.
Good job.
When the National CF Foundation started the Great Strides Walks in 1989, it wasn't long before they became an annual Dunn family tradition. Matt's parents helped organize the big event in Daytona Beach, with Matthew and his brothers Nicholas and Ben leading the charge. Walkers came out by the hundreds to support Team Matt and the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. As Matthew grew into a teenager and young adult, life got busier. He He played the French horn in the Seabreeze High School marching band. He was the biggest Florida Gator fan, bar none. But he still made time to come down to West Palm and appear on TV with his Aunt Kelly.
It's hard to believe that was 17 years ago.
I'm now 18 years old and asking you to help me and my Aunt Kelly raise money for cystic fibrosis research.
Mary Weiss stopped by during this promo shoot and had some behind-the-scenes fun with Matt in front of the green screen, a simple piece of green fabric which, through the magic of television, makes you disappear, provided plenty of laughs. Forever the entertainer, Matt became a favorite whenever he was in studio. But when the red light came on, he was all business. The year after this taping, on July 22nd, 2010, Matthew lost his battle with cystic fibrosis. He was 21 years old. We said goodbye to Mary Weiss 6 years later. Today, she's survived by her husband, Harry, and their youngest son, Anthony, who is 53 and benefiting from advancements in treatment funded by research dollars his mom helped raise.
And as I say, there's nothing heroic with what I've done because, as I say, I didn't elect it, I didn't choose it. It happened, and I had no choice. I can't imagine not doing everything possible every day. But I look forward to the day that cystic fibrosis will be relegated to the history books, but children and roses will continue to bloom. That's my dream.